Thank you for attending today's WarrCloud webinar, which is hosted by the shop, powered by Ford Direct. Presenting today will be Jim Roche, the CEO of WarrCloud. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into your webinar toolbar, and we'll get them over to Jim to address. Jim, over to you.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate your attending. Our topic today is optimizing your service department, proven strategies with a particular focus on warranty. I want to appreciate our friends at Ford Direct in the shop for inviting us to do that. Some of the key takeaways today will be how to drive more service revenue, how to capture missed warranty opportunities, improving your cash flow, improving your warranty dashboard scores, and tips for compliance to avoiding audits. But before we dive into all that, why don't we start at the place where it's always best to start, which is at the beginning. The objective is profitable growth. And that isn't just to mean in this specific, in any form of business, the objective is profitable growth. And everything else that we do every day, selling cars, servicing cars, managing inventory, financing, is a subset of trying to achieve the only objective. That objective is profitable growth. But I think as everyone on the call realizes, achieving profitable growth is getting harder. These figures from our friends at the Presidio Group show for the variable operations side of dealers what's happening in year-over-year comparison. New vehicle gross down over 30%, used vehicle gross down almost 20%, F&I down just slightly, profit change down over 20%. In addition to that, we have a tightening regulatory environment, inflationary costs are challenging, and all of these things combined has driven consumer sentiment down about 30%. As is usually happens, we're coming back to service. Service historically is the majority profit driver for dealerships. Service historically makes up about 12% of dealership revenue, but over 50% of total dealership gross. There are two primary profit centers, revenue streams in service: customer pay, or CP, and warranty. And if you look at the trends for both of those, it's really interesting. Customer pay growth is decelerating as we look at the trends. As a matter of fact, customer pay growth is now pretty much back to pre-pandemic levels. Contrast that against warranty. And the trend in warranty is very interesting. If you look in the growth in warranty up to the pandemic, it was about 38%, an average of about 7.7% per year. So really robust growth. WarrCloud is projecting an almost 20% additional growth in warranty revenue between now and the end of 2026, driven by two things. One kind of obvious, one kind of not obvious. The obvious one is obviously we're going to sell millions more new vehicles in the coming years, and that means there will be millions more warranty covered vehicles on the roads. The non-obvious one is J.D. Power has been tracking the warranty cost of electric vehicles for a number of years, and what they have seen is that the warranty costs of electric vehicles run about 300% higher than internal combustion engines. So these two things combined, millions more cars on the road and many, many more electronic vehicles, and then factor in that there are over 100 new EVs and the like coming to market by 2026. And we think these two things are going to drive warranty revenue much higher for the dealer, which is great. Where the challenge is in the cost of warranty processing. We've been processing warranty essentially the same for the last 80 years. And the result of that is suboptimal. Processing claims, depending on your brand, consumes anywhere from 14 to 16% of the gross from the warranty work. Each claim can take up to 22 minutes. There's no in-house automation. And as we'll look at a second, claim administrators are on the decline. This is the number of dealers who have employee warranty admins. And you can see the trend line here. What's happening is these people are either aging out of the workforce and retiring, or they're leaving automotive, and the younger generation is not stepping in. Well, this creates an interesting business situation. If the demand over time is going to continue to go up, while the human resources who have historically done this are on the decline, it obviously creates a scalability problem. We're already feeling it, and as we go forward in time, that gap will even become more acute. And by the way, you agree with all of this and have validated us. Based on market research that WarrCloud released in January 2024, dealers, and we went out and spoke to many, many dealers and service leaders as part of this market research, told us that you absolutely think that there's going to be a rise in warranty claims and therefore warranty revenue. You told us that the cost of processing those claims is up 28%. The time to process a claim has almost doubled. And because of that, because of the amount of time it takes to process a claim, and because of rising labor costs, that means that the cost, the amount of profit that is consuming is significant. Well, why is that? Why is the cost of claims processing rising? Well, first and obvious, vehicles are getting a lot more complicated. Today's vehicles can contain over 100 computers, thousands of semiconductors, millions of lines of software code. And yeah, that's the vehicle itself. But that translates into complexity when you were trying to file your warranty claims. You know, the days of somebody being able to memorize a code or two and then applying that across an entire class of vehicle is long gone. You know, we've seen thousands of recalls, over 400 for just Ford in the last 10 years, and the variations of body, engine, and trim and the related data makes the memorization of these things impossible for a single human being. So what WarrCloud does is we use artificial intelligence to allow you to outsource and automate this claims processing. Our systems can read the 3 C's from the RO, add the correct labor up, tech time, adjust or correct depending upon what the manufacturer's requirements are, import parts, and many more. And what this does is keeps you correct and compliant for every claim. In addition, we offer a tool, an app, either sits on your desktop or on your mobile device called Chirp. And what Chirp does essentially is it also reduces the amount of time it takes to submit a claim. It allows you to look at what's happening with every claim, to provide supplemental information, whether that's a rental car receipt or a battery test slip, interact with the people who are working on your claims, look at dashboards and metrics to see how you're doing, and a host of other things. So think of it as a window into what WarrCloud is doing for you. So let's talk a little bit about some of the best practices that we see. The first one, you want daily, weekly, or monthly. Your service leaders should review your work in process repair orders, identify the opens, obviously get them closed. What this does, this will improve your warranty dashboard scores, and depending on where you're at, it can take you from red up to green and then green to blue. The second is, and this is amazing to us, but you want to make sure that when you are writing the RO, that you listen actively, that you ask questions to understand, and that you clearly record, fully describe the 3 C's. You'd be amazed at the number of abbreviations, acronyms, incomplete complaints that get on a repair order, and those things trip you up. Those are non-compliant. That can get you into audit territory. Doing these things, clearly documenting, can help you avoid audits. Finally, on this slide, attach OASIS to every repair order. This has been understood as a best practice for years, and it doesn't happen often enough. Again, we're amazed to see how many times that doesn't happen. This protects you from a 10 times chargeback if you get audited. So again, on this slide, daily and weekly and monthly, your service leaders should review your work in process repair orders, identify opens, get them closed. When it comes to the 3 C's on a repair order, actively listen, ask questions where you're not sure, clearly record, and fully describe. Don't use acronyms, don't use abbreviations. Go back and make sure that you've got a complete description there. Finally, Attach Oasis to every repair order. Additionally, and this is a fun one, you can claim for shuttle service monthly. There is an allowance, again, we're talking warranty here, $36 daily per vehicle up to 2 shuttles. That's $1,600 a month. Note, that's per shuttle. If you have 2, that's $72 per day. That's $3,200 per month. That is money that is just easy pickings. Secondly, we are seeing this strong trend, particularly in Ford and Lincoln, toward pickup delivery for mobile service. You have to enforce the necessary documentation on the warranty RO to ensure full reimbursement. For a lot of dealers, a lot of service leaders, mobile service is new. And what we're seeing is it's a different process. You have the starting and the stopping. Mobile service makes proper documentation more challenging, but you want to make sure that you're setting up the tech and your in-house processes so you capture all the proper documentation, 3Cs in particular, so that your warranty submissions are paid immediately and there's no compliance risk. Finally, and not very well known, if parts are needed on an open RO, close the RO until the parts arrive. Then open a new RO, you copy and paste. This hasn't been known by many dealers, but this is the preferred best practice by Ford. This will also improve your DAS scores for open and close metrics. So to recap on this again, you can put in a warranty claim for shuttle service monthly up to 2. Up to 2 can get you $3,200 a month in additional revenue. Second, make sure that you, and don't just go out and tell people, make sure you have a documented process, that you have done things that support proper warranty documentation for mobile service. Finally, if parts are needed on an open RO, close the RO until the parts come in, then open a new RO, copy and paste, and go from there. What this is all called, the combination of outsourcing and these best practices, is smart sourcing, or some people say intelligent outsourcing. It's the practice of business process outsourcing, BPO, augmented by technology, typically artificial intelligence. When some of the results we're seeing for Ford dealers who are doing smart sourcing with WarrCloud, your days to submit average have dropped from 2.6 to 0.6, so an incredible improvement there. And your first time success average went from 88.5% first time success to 93%. And that's getting you into that green territory where you want to be. Finally, the average dealer results for smart sourcing using AI and WarrCloud. Your average warranty increases by 12.4%, which is about $142,000 a year in additional revenue. You reduce your cost of claims processing by more than 50%. Your claims are processed within 24 hours, which of course greatly improves your cash flow. And as mentioned, these things can improve your DAS scores, including your first time success, your time to submit, and your time to close. Don't take it from us, take it from some of our satisfied Ford and Lincoln dealers. Julian Dregos, who is the director of fixed operations for all the stores in the Fred Beans dealer group, says WarrCloud delivers faster, better, and less expensive by modernizing one of the few areas not touched yet by automation. Steve Bastion, service leader over at Summon Ford, tells us that the DAS scores increased substantially. He doesn't have to touch every warranty RO, and his numbers are up, getting close to blue. Good job, Steve. And Charlie Wyatt at Pat Armstrong says, if you're on the fence about WarrCloud, don't be. It frees up your people to do other things, not chasing paper, but paying attention to the guest experience. And happy to see Charlie says it pays for itself. So we know we allocated a lot of time today, but we typically try to keep these things under 20 minutes and leave time for any questions. So we'll pause here and see if anyone has any questions.
Hi, Jim. It's Teresa. We do actually have a few questions. The first one is, does WarrCloud or can WarrCloud totally replace my admin?
You mean the warranty admin?
That's right. Yep.
So the short answer is yes, but I'll add a but to that. Yes, we can, and we get a lot of calls from dealers who say, hey, my warranty admin just left. I showed a slide earlier on that with trend we see with warranty administrators is that they're on the decline. It is a disappearing skill set. They are retiring from the workforce or they're leaving automotive. So the answer is yes, but what we've also started to see here in the last couple of years is that dealers typically, I think this was a study done by Cox Automotive, dealers typically have up to 3 open recs for jobs in the service department that haven't been filled. So we see admins not replaced, but they're repurposed. They are taken out of the warranty administrator slot full time, and because they're very familiar with the people in the dealership, the customers, the processes, they're slotted into other positions within the service department or the back office, depending upon what your circumstances are. That's a great question. Thank you, Teresa.
Sure. And then I'll just add a follow-up question, which is, do you have people that have, groups where there's one admin that is actually managing, several stores within the group?
In the larger groups, I shouldn't say the larger groups because we see that across the board. WarrCloud works with anywhere from a group as little as 2 up to 70 stores, and that is a common practice. Now, that is a common practice when it comes to interacting with WarrCloud, collecting supplemental documentation like rental car receipts or the like. That's less likely when it comes to warranty expertise because dealer groups are diversified across brand and every brand is different. So somebody who is proficient in Ford doesn't really understand Nissan or Toyota or another brand's warranty. Of course, WarrCloud does. We're diversified across all the volume brands. So we do see that when it comes to a person working on the administrative aspects of it, but not necessarily on the compliance or the submission aspects of it.
Okay. And then I have another question from John. What is the best way to ensure we don't miss any flashes? I want to make sure that my techs are getting paid.
What is the best way that you don't miss any flashes?
Right.
I mean, you want to make sure that you have an RO that reflects a flash and that it's closed promptly. WarrCloud, it's an interesting phenomenon. WarrCloud has seen that when it's a human-based warranty administrator and you've got that stack of paper, a flash could pay only 1 or 2 tenths, and sometimes it gets set to the side. But because we do everything electronically, we pick those up and when they're closed, or if you're CDK, when they're blue flagged, and we process and pay them promptly.
Okay. This one is a little bit outside of actual processing claims. It's just a question about our recent round of funding. It says, I saw your press release on funding. What does that mean?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. So WarrCloud is an investor-backed company. As some of you know, we came to market in 2021, not really knowing if there would be interest in this type of a service. And we have enjoyed phenomenal success. We have sold over 700 dealers now and are really going gangbusters. And our board continues to urge us to go faster. And when you're a technology stage growth company, going faster means adding more people so you can continue developing more technology. It means being able to install more dealerships faster. It means developing integrations faster and doing more with artificial intelligence. So when we raised our B round, which was a $20 million investment round, that is just to do that. It is to have more customer success people who speak to you and support you, to have more programmers who are developing more artificial technology, and hiring more installers so that we can get you installed faster when you sign up for WarrCloud.
Great. Thank you so much. Those are all the questions, unless anybody else has anything they want to ask.
Seems like we have a shy group. Well, we don't want to keep everybody if there aren't any more questions. Hopefully you appreciate getting a little bit of your day back. Thank you for attending this webinar, and you've got our contact information there if you'd like to know more.
Thanks, Jim, for the information you gave us today. As a reminder, you'll be getting a email with a link to this webinar recording tomorrow. So please feel free to watch that again on demand, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.